Hi everyone, welcome to Bodyworks Prime. Today we're going to be going over the origin, the insertion and the action of the rectus abdominis muscle. Here we can see the rectus abdominis muscle, and you can see running down the middle of it we have a white line, which is known as the linea alba. And linea alba, translated from Latin to English, literally means white line. And that white line is made of the aponeurosis of the other three abdominal muscles which make up the rectus sheath. Now the rectus sheath is comprised of three abdominal muscles, but there's actually 5 abdominal muscles in total. The first abdominal muscle is the rectus abdominis. Next we have the external oblique, the internal oblique, the transversus abdominis, and the pyramidalis. Only the external oblique, the internal oblique, and the transverse abdominis form the rectus sheath, and that's because the rectus abdominis and the pyramidalis sit within the rectus sheath itself. So just to quickly go over what the rectus sheath is, the rectus sheath is a collection of the aponeuroses of the external oblique, internal oblique, and the transversus abdominis muscle. So you'll see in the pictures here we've got that lighter area and the darker red area. So the lighter area, that's the aponeurosis, whereas the darker areas on those pictures, they're the actual muscles themselves. So the rectus sheath is just going to be the aponeuroses of those 3 muscles coming together and wrapping around the rectus abdominis and the pyramidalis muscle. And much like the relationship between the sword and the sheath, where the sheath holds the sword, the rectus sheath holds the rectus abdominis and the pyramidalis muscle. Moving on to the origin next, you can see I've got that highlighted here in red, and that's on the pubic crest, as well as on the pubic symphysis. Now the pubic symphysis is just a cartilaginous joint that just links these 2 portions of the hip here together. Moving on to the insertion next, you can see I've got that highlighted here in blue, so that's just on the inferior portion of the sternum, specifically that part's called the Xiphoid process. So in addition to the Xiphoid process, we've also got insertions on the costal cartilages of ribs 5, 6 and 7. So this would be rib number 5 here, number 6 and number 7. So let's take a look at the actions next. The rectus abdominis is coming down here connecting onto the pelvis. So as it contracts, it's going to pull the upper body towards the pelvis. So that would be flexion of the trunk as our first and most primary action. Now, if the upper body or the lower body are in a fixed position, that's going to sort of change how the flexion presents itself. So I'll show you an example. My pelvis is in a relatively fixed position right now because I'm standing. So contraction of the rectus abdominis is going to pull my upper body down towards my lower body. Now, so I was at the gym and I was hanging off some bars and I was doing some hanging leg raises or hanging knee raises. In that kind of situation, it's my upper body that's in a more fixed position. So contraction of the rectus abdominis would instead pull the pelvis upwards, it would tilt it upwards, just like that. So in addition to flexion of the trunk, it can also tense the anterior wall of the abdomen, and this tension assists in compressing the contents of the abdomen. It can also tense and work together with all the other core muscles to increase the intra-abdominal pressure of the core. So intra-abdominal pressure is useful if you want to increase the rigidity or the strength of the core. So let's say you're going to do some heavy lifting at the gym, you want to do some squats or some deadlifts. You're going to want a really strong core, and that increased intra-abdominal pressure is going to assist in that. So if you found the video useful or you found it helpful or enjoyed it, you know which buttons to press. Press those buttons down there because it really helps our channel. Thanks so much for watching everyone. See you all next time.